Welcome, everybody, to Judging Nerd Culture. I'm Ollie.
And I'm Jess.
And we're here to talk to you today about something that no one has been talking about since ever. It's possibly my favorite animated feature from when I was a small child, Digimon, the movie. And, oh god, it's just right off the back, it's not intended to be this way. It is an amalgamation of horrors, and I love it.
Is it supposed to be right off the back or right off the bat? I always heard right off the bat.
That makes sense because of sports.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't really know. I don't know a whole lot about phrases and colloquialisms. I've only slightly heard them in my mind and then repeat them without actually knowing what's going on.
That's fair. Also, how do you like the new table setup?
I think
view.
I think it looks nice. I hope they think we look pretty nice. It is weird because I keep wanting to look at you and just talk to you, but then I'm like, hello, I can't see you and also talk in the microphone.
I mean, it's going to pick you up.
Yeah, but then it just reminds me I have to look this way at that thing, at that camera, because now we have an audience.
Yeah, but you don't have to look at it the whole time. My sister did yell at me, though, and said, "Hi, Sadie." She said, "You have to look at the camera more." I say that as I stared at you as I said that. But, sitting this way helps me look at the camera. But I'm going to act like I'm talking to two people. Mm-hmm. That way, I can look at you and look at the camera. And we're fine.
All right. So, yes, let's get into talking about Digimon. So Digimon the movie is not exactly, a perfect judgment of the animated show or anything like that, but it is, I feel like encompasses a great deal of everything that made the show good. Because the whole shtick with Digimon is just like, hey, look at all this youthful teen spirit and all these giant monsters that become even bigger and get more guns. And this movie just basically starts off with, here's some teen angst, and now here's monsters with big guns. And
yeah, they're like organic transformers. Also,
organic transformers. Oh, gross.
But you're going to probably have to guide me a little, because even though I like Digimon, it's been a while since we've watched the movie, and all of their names are ridiculous and sound the same.
This is that's fair. All right, well, we'll get right into it. Basically, this movie is 3 movies, and they don't belong together, but because of basically rushed development times and the fact that Pokemon put out a movie, they decided, hey, we gotta do something quick.
Gotta make our own Pokemon.
Exactly. So, just like everything else in their existence, Digimon put together this slapdash, super quick movie by using up OVAs from the past that had never really come out in order to make one big movie. Each OVA is like 30 minutes long, give or take, I think. And each one is intended to be its own standalone thing, but now they found a way to try and worm the plot along as you go. And it's not exactly subtle where the plot string was threaded through. But for what they had to work with, I think they did a surprisingly decent job. The first movie is what was intended to actually be the original show, or more or less. The original show was originally started through requesting an OVA, and then they realized, oh no, anime is where it's at. If we do an anime, we'll have more marketing abilities for toys and whatever else. so they just didn't put out the OVA. Instead, started their anime, and in that process, they just kind of held the OVA back for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked out for them because they were able to use it at this point. But it starts off basically with the origin story of the Digidestined, which is what the kids are called.
It's a very clever name.
The Digidestined. They just put Digi in front of anything and everything, and that's the name.
And Mon after everything.
Oh yeah. It's and sometimes it's just not impressive or like surprising. Angemon, it's just Angel, Mon. That's it.
Yeah.
It's very little effort, but I don't know what it was about Digimon as a kid that just threw me in. But I loved it. So I'm I'm gonna try not to let that be my entire time on this episode. Just like I loved it as a kid though, because that's not what I'm here for. That's not what we're doing. But yeah, the first chunk is the origin story for the Digidestined, and it's basically little baby versions of the two of the main characters, Tai and his sister
Kari?
Kari. Yeah, thanks. And they meet Agumon for the first time, but it's a different Agumon, so that just happens to be a thing.
I'm paying attention to you. I'm listening. But also I'm all kind of distracted because Mabel is
Mabel.
just like cleaning herself vigorously right in front of our salad. Okay.
The joys of having a cat. So yeah, this first third of the movie is with these two characters basically getting to meet Agumon in his little baby forms and growing on through Greymon. And each form is met with more and different complications.
Mm-hmm.
Its little small baby form was very licky and bitey. Then its rookie form was very much an explosive monster.
Yeah.
And basically tried to burn some people, start some stuff, and it all culminated in a giant egg manifesting above fake Tokyo or whatever, and hatching a not proportionately, but still pretty fucking large bird.
Yeah, the egg was like, I don't know, as big as my fist, and then the bird was like, I don't know, one of my pores.
Yeah, it was weird because like the egg encompassed the entire like city, and it was like a building in height and size. So like, still impressive.
The dramatics, though.
It was pretty dramatic.
Made an entrance.
Yeah, that's basically what happens. The rest of the movie is just a quick little fight between Greymon and bird whose name Mon I don't remember Mon.
Well, I mean, I keep getting on your phone, but one of the reasons I got on your phone was because I was looking at all the different names of the Mons.
Oh God, baby.
Because I didn't want to be completely useless in my Digimon knowledge.
You gotta stick to the main like story.
No, I am.
Because there's
it just
over
gives
1,000.
you like. Well, I know, but it just says it gives you the cast for the movie.
Oh, cool.
So Agumon, Tailmon, Patamon, Palmon, Gabumon, Mom, Angemon, Wargreymon, Biomon, Biomon, okay, Tentomon, Leomon, Gomamon. Ouch.
Leomon's not in this movie.
Huh?
Leomon's not in the movie.
Leomon?
Yeah.
He's not?
No, he's from
I thought I remembered a part where he turned into a werewolf. Or was that from a preview that we watched?
It might have been for something else, and also that wasn't Leomon.
This one just says Armadillo-mon. They just said Armadillo, and then decided to put Mon at the end.
Look, they're not the most creative, but it gets the point across.
Mummy-mon?
Yeah, he's a mummy.
Angelwoman.
Yep.
This is an angel, but also a woman. So how do we name her so that she, is clearly a Digimon? Just mush together angel and woman. Angelwoman.
Well, they already have Angemon, so they needed to really explain the fact that it's a woman. But no, some of those are from the mainline show, which
Yeah.
real hoot. Like, not gonna lie, definitely for children. Hardcore for children.
They're
Tried
so
watching
cute though. Patamon? Oh my god, kill me.
It's really difficult to say what even some of those
Here,
things
put
are
this
intended to be.
over there, because otherwise I'm going to do what I did the last episode and just look at my phone or at the computer.
Done. So, yeah, they that's kind of the entire gist of this first chunk of the Digimon movie. It's just them befriending Agumon and it evolving and fighting and destroying things, and then it fighting off a big ass bird. And it establishes that all of the kids who were involved or who witnessed this fight between those two, became the Digidestined. And that's not super relevant at all, really, except that they also just threw in a part about William, because again, they needed some reason to link all of the 3 OVAs that had no reason to be linked together.
Yeah.
They're like, we just make another character and say that he happened to get an egg the same day that all this shit went down.
Yeah, just randomly, like, here you go.
Here's a coinky dink.
You can, when you're watching it too, you can obviously see where one ends and one begins, and they just tried to, like, put them together. Because they didn't do really any sort of transition.
No, they basically did the thing in SpongeBob. It's like 9 years later.
Yeah.
And it just skips ahead to the next movie. No break, no nothing. Just
no explanation of anything. So, just here you go. Here's the next one.
Time for part 2. I mean, again, 3 completely different, from different time periods. They were animated in different time periods.
Yes.
Oh, it's whatever. I'm surprised they all even look the same, to be honest.
Well, I mean, they probably made sure it looked the same. Because otherwise, it'd be worse somehow.
But yes, the second part, which is admittedly my favorite part, is this middle bit. I could honestly do without the third part, but we'll get there. The second part focuses on Tai and the main Digidestins from the original season 1 of Digimon, the anime, and specifically Izzy is present in the majority of the film, and some internet virus happened to somehow infect a newly formed Digi-Egg somehow. Yeah. And that Digi-Egg infected by the virus hatched and decided to eat the internet. Because that's a thing it can do.
Why not?
So, like, this is dumb. Very dumb. But I always have to give it the benefit of the doubt, thinking that this was back in 2001. And, like, I don't think we knew what the internet was yet.
I mean, there's still viruses out there that can eat your data.
Yeah.
Get your information or whatever. Consume it.
Yeah. But this virus decided to go eat all the data at convenience stores and weird shit.
Yeah.
Ruin.
And then it just gets bigger and stronger every time.
Oh yeah, Digivolve's a bunch. That's brought up a lot. It's like, it's in its rookie form, it's in its blah 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 blah. Bunch of words that mean a whole lot of nothing unless you've watched it since you were a child.
I like that instead of just saying evolves, you're using the, like, in movie canon lingo and saying Digivolved.
It's what it's called.
It's just evolving. Digimonally.
Okay, listen. Pokemon evolve, and they stay there.
Yeah, but you don't call it Pokevolve.
No, because they just full evolve. Digimon just Digi-evolve, just slightly. A little bit. A little tiny bit. Cause then they go back.
But Pokemon do that too. They have different evolutions.
Yeah, but then they stay there. And then they move on. They don't have, well, okay.
So do Digimon! They Digivolve, and then they stay in that form for an amount of time, and then either digivolve again
Or go back.
devolve.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Pokemon.
Pokemon
except for they're on the internet.
Pokemon don't go backwards. Except for that
they
one.
They probably could if they tried.
I was gonna say that's not how that works, and then remembered it's Pokemon and Digimon. Who cares?
You're about to nerd-splain to me.
I was, and I'm sorry about that. But also, all of that was nonsense because there wasn't one of the games a while ago that introduced a few of the games that introduced Mega Evolution in Pokemon, which is basically just Digimon evolution, like exactly the same. It was cool.
Yeah, they should do a crossover.
Oh my god! There's a comic where Marvel and DC were like, hey, let's fight each other, and then a bunch of Marvel and DC characters beat each other up.
Yeah.
And I would love that if Pokemon and Digimon did that, but I feel like that would be very unfair. No Pokemon ever becomes a giant mechanical monstrosity.
You know that website or whatever it is, the app on the internet that you can take two random Pokemon and mush them together?
Yeah.
What if you took a Pokemon and a Digimon and mush them together? Which two would you want to mush? Leave in the comments below which Pokemon or Digimon you'd want to mush. And not in the weird way. Don't get weird about it.
The masculine format of Gardevoir and the Wargreymon.
Okay.
If anyone knows what those are.
What would you call it? Would you leave the Mon at the end?
Wargadamon? I don't know. It would be a bad, dumb name.
Yeah.
Because Gardevoir is already nothing, and Wargreymon is too good to, not use all of it. I have a lot of bias in this one, okay?
No, I was just trying to think of a name. I don't know.
Honestly, this might be why all of the Digimon just have such dumb names. It's not easy. So anyways, this entire middle section is all about how do we stop? I think his name is Diaboromon? No.
The bad guy?
Yeah. Diaboromon or something else. It might be from the anime. I don't remember. But anyways, they're trying to beat, the big bad. And turns out that they're just not gonna be able to. It keeps growing too fast and eating too much data and going to all sorts of, major government facilities and eating up all of their specialized computer information and hacking their systems somehow. Destroying all sorts of flight information. And at one point they mentioned, oh no, it got to the airport systems. Oh my god, what's this? It moved to America.
I feel like that was just an attempt to, I don't know, maybe make America more willing to take Digimon, to receive it.
I guess, but
for American fans to be like, oh hey, America, that's us, and then go out and get Digimon.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, honestly. My question is just why did it have to go to the airport for that? It's on the internet already. So stupid logic aside, it moves on to America.
That's how the internet works. Airplanes in the sky go back and forth, and they bring the internet with them.
So the internet is transported internationally by the airplanes.
Yes, if all of the airplanes stopped at once, there would be no internet anywhere.
Anywhere.
And sometimes when there's a lot of layovers and there's only maybe a few planes flying, that's why your internet's so bad.
Okay, so it's not just that international internet is on airplanes. All the internet is confined to airplanes. It is the internet. Impressive.
That's why he went to the airplanes.
So, anyways, he went to America because he's looking for William, the character who they made up in the last episode, and no one, had anything to do with him.
They mentioned him in the very first one, and then didn't talk about him at all.
Until No,
yeah.
I think a couple times throughout the second part, they mentioned, oh no, it's going to America. And Izzy was like, I should tell William. And then that's it.
Our pen pal, William, that we know somehow.
Somehow. We know he's a Digidestin too, somehow. We talked to him, we met, even though that's not real. Yeah. Who cares? But yeah, he's going to America to communicate with William because, and here's the convoluted nonsense that they string together to make it to part 3, which we're not there yet, and I don't give a fuck about part 3. But anyways, apparently William, when he got his Digi-Egg, it had twins, which is dumb because that's not how Digimon work. They're not a biological thing.
Ollie, how do you know?
Because I'm a 25-year-old man who's watched this since I was 4 years old.
Yeah, but have you studied a Digimon egg?
You know,
have you found one and meticulously studied it? You don't know how their DNA works, how their genetics work. There could have been twins.
Excuse me.
Their eggs could hold more than one.
Oh, excuse me. I had a knockoff Tamagotchi Digimon pal, and I know exactly how it works. If you're nice to it and feed it right and do this, it grows up into a specific type of a Digimon.
Well, that was just yours specifically. Maybe somebody out there got twins. Maybe you weren't good enough to yours.
Oh, I think I was pretty good. I always cleaned up his poop.
I've always wanted a Tamagotchi. Tamagotchi. Tamagotch. I like that. Tamagotch.
I like that.
I always heard they were very annoying and frustrating because you had to be on them constantly. But did it prepare us for the future when we had kids? No. But did I want one? Would it have been fun? Yes, I think so.
So anyways, he goes to America to meet William because William apparently had 2 Pokemon. Had 2 Digimon.
They're the same thing. They're the same thing.
Agree to disagree. Once he had his 2 Digimon, he decided, I want another one because apparently 2 is not enough. And he made a 3rd one. And this is the thing that got infected. This is the Digimon that Izzy saw get infected on the internet. And supposedly this is what started the whole shebang. And the reason that he went to America was to meet up with his creator, I guess. So now he's in America and he's Digivolved again. He's all big and buff, and they're like, "Oh no, we gotta stop him. He's already beat up the main cast a few times. Oh no!"
Is it canon that he says that?
Yes.
He's like the main cast of this movie. Oh no!
Yep, that's exactly how he responds once they come back into the room.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
and
"Oh
they
no!"
come in and they're like, "We're the cast of this movie."
Or the protagonist, prepare to lose.
To fight.
Oh god, baby, you did that on camera. You know people see this, right?
Yeah, it's their fault.
So, the main characters, they've lost a few times to the Aboramon, and now that they're sort of regrouped and re-prepared, they're trying one more time to face off with this monstrosity, and as they're doing so, they keep getting beat up and torn down because they're so downtrodden and slowed down because of emails that they're getting from kids throughout the entire world, because somehow their internet battle was being broadcast to the world. Yep, they were using some sort of screen capture device to make sure everybody saw their stream. I'm pretty sure this was before streaming.
They're famous now. Twitch has to give them money.
Honestly, this movie did a much better job at internet depiction and like assumptions than anything else, because it predicted streaming mega popular everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. But they found out that all of the emails were hurting the Digimon, slowing them down because it apparently was using up their bandwidth or something, and the Digimon were connected to the internet through their connection.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I don't really understand what the fuck anything was going on there, but it was cockamamie to me. It was pretty interesting.
It was pretty good.
But along with all that, they finally found him again, and the two, like, the Naruto and Sasuke of the group are their Digimon are there, and they're fighting them, and they're not doing so hot, and darn it, they're just not gonna give up because that's, anime. And the Digimon keep trucking along and do something that eventually in the series ends up being called Fusion Digivolution. But for now, it's just called that weird thing that happened in 2001 that they didn't have a name for yet. And the two of them fuse into Omnimon, and it's the wildest shit because the two of them, I don't know, hunker down and become these weird floating obelisks of whatever design represents their individual Digimon.
Yeah.
And then Ty and Matt, their masters, float into the computers, just meld into the internet, and then are there. They're just there.
The internet's alive.
It's alive. And then all of the emails, all of the people watching, like their energy and their souls shoot into these things and form the body of Omnimon. Really weird. I don't understand what the fuck was going on.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor for coming together across the internet.
And being friends.
Exactly.
Because that's the only thing you find on the internet.
It's friendship.
It's friendship.
Oh yeah, so much friendship.
Friendship.
And once they form Omnimon, I'm not even gonna lie, watching this again, it was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, that was fun. I remember that being cool. But thinking back on it, as a kid, that was one of the coolest fucking moments of my goddamn childhood, was watching this dumb movie and these stupid Digimon fuse together into being the coolest Digimon ever seen. And am I embarrassed? No. Should I be? Yes. I really should be.
It's so wholesome, though.
It's fun.
There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Also,
except for that you still really like it and are like fiercely against people saying stupid things about it.
Hey. I'm down for people saying stupid things about it. There's a bunch of stupid things about it.
Yeah, but I just said some stuff earlier and you were like, but...
Well, you're comparing
but
apples to
see...
oranges here. So anyways, before we get back to the, Pokemon and Digimon argument again.
I mean Pokemon and Pokemon too?
So, jeez. Yeah, Omnimon is just this big, massive, like, knightly looking monster with one of the arms being Metal Garurumon's head. Metal Garurumon's head is just this big wolf head. And then War Greymon's head, which is, I think, supposed to be somehow reminiscent of a T-Rex or some sort of dinosaur.
Yeah. I think... Jeez. Agumon.
Agumon?
Agumon.
I'm sorry.
He's a little dinosaur. So it
he's-
makes sense for it to be dinosaur related.
Yeah, it's just sort of like an artistic representation of dinosaur themes. And it's the other hand, and then the body is this big white thing. And it looks cool, but the coolest part is that when each one opens its mouth, its hand mouth, the wolf pulls out a giant gun, just a massive cannon, and the other one pulls out a massive sword. I don't know how to explain that as a child, this was so cool. Like...
It's a cannon!
It's a cannon!
And a sword.
Why?
But it's a cannon and a sword.
Mm-hmm.
What's cooler than that?
Yeah.
More cannons.
More cannons. Maybe. So obviously, we're just chit chatting about this, and you're being very accepting of my nostalgic fanboy nonsense. But realistically, I know you had seen it once before or something like that, but you had never really been super into it, and you never really paid too much attention to it. And I mean, even this time, I feel like it was probably hard to like strictly pay attention, considering it is absolute nonsense. But watching this with me a few weeks ago, how did you like mentally respond to some of this just absolute wild shit?
I've always liked Digimon. I think a part of me was like, I wanted to like Digimon more than I liked Pokemon because it was like everybody liked Pokemon, so I wanted to like something different. You know what I mean? But it was the same thing. but it was different.
To be fair, Digimon is like the punk alternative
Yeah.
to Pokemon.
But at the same time, I like the idea of Pokemon, but I don't play the games. I used to play the card game with my cousin. Like, you know, the little,
Yeah.
like, whatever. The card game that has, like, the blue card? Like, the watery card?
Yeah, it basically works like Magic, where there are energy cards, and you
Yeah,
can use them
energy
to
cards, yes.
activate the
And then
abilities
all
of
of
the
their...
spell of the cards or whatever.
I'm not gonna explain the game. I don't even know what...
I'm gonna be honest, I've never played the Pokemon card game. I've only ever collected the cards when I was young.
Yeah.
The actual gameplay of it, I had no idea how it worked. It was...
But Pokemon and Digimon have always been a thing where I really want to like it. I like the creatures. I like the art. Like, I like the design of it. I sometimes like the communities. Sometimes the Pokemon community can be a little much.
Yeah. The Pokemon community, I'm gonna go ahead and say, which no offense to anyone, way more furry bait in Pokemon than there is in Digimon. Digimon designs are.
I feel like Digimon would be like cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like cyberpunk, or steampunk kids, and then Pokemon kids grew up to be furries.
Oh, definitely.
With nothing against them.
No,
but
not
that's
at all.
just what
I
it is.
specifically know at least a handful of furries who start off as just, I like Pokemon, and then are like, you know, that Gardevoir though.
Ooh, what's the sexiest Pokemon?
I mean, there's a lot of gross answers. I don't know which one's
I don't
Charizard.
know. He's very manly. He's got that masculine energy, you know, but also a little flamboyant.
That's
There's
so
flames.
funny.
I don't know all the Pokemon, so I couldn't really decide on who's the sexiest. Maybe Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur is pretty great.
No, not Bulbasaur. Oh gosh, what's his name? Give me a second here. He's the turtle. Not Squirtle. I mean, his name is sexy.
What about this fella?
Squirtle's sexy. He's got something going on. We'll put a picture right here or something. What's his name?
Bastiodon.
Isn't that just the name of a dinosaur?
I don't know.
But what the heck is his name? He's the bigger turtle with the more cannons.
Blastoise?
Blastoise, yeah.
The evolved version of Squirtle.
Sexy.
You like them cannons?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of, you know, nice guys are gonna be commenting like, oh wow, you don't know anything. You even Pokemon, bro? No, I don't.
Yeah, you spend too much time doing other.
I spend too much time playing Jak and Daxter. That's what I do.
That's still what you do.
And watching Netflix.
You have legitimately played more Jak and Daxter than I've ever seen anyone play a game.
It's so good.
Like,
okay, and I haven't gotten 100% on number 2 yet.
You got 101% in number 1.
Yeah, but not number 2.
Okay.
But also the first 3 games of Jak and Daxter are the best. Stop after number 3. The racing games those don't exist.
Yeah, I think there's just the one, Jak X or something.
Also,
dumb and bad.
This episode is not about Jak and Daxter.
No, but we're just going off.
Let us know who you think is the sexiest Pokemon.
Yeah. And let us know why you think Angemon is the sexiest Digimon.
Angemon? Are you only saying it because he's the one who is human-shaped?
No.
What about Angelwoman?
Well, I mean, sure, both, but, like, they're just strapped in BDSM gear.
Okay, but then what about, Leomon?
You know, he's also pretty sexy. He's a lion! His name is Leomon!
Yeah. Weramon?
Where Garurumon?
Garuru?
Garurumon.
that's too many roos.
That was the one in the show in the movie that was the werewolf with the leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Just oh god, ridiculous designs. That's one thing about Digimon. It was made, in the 90s or whatever, during the era of Spawn and Lobo and these like hyper like edgelord comic books, and when they were in their peak popularity, where everything had unnecessary pockets and the size of men's chests were 4 barrels wide. I'll show you later. There's this image of Captain America just standing there with his chest out, and it's literally just 2 people's length of just chest. It looks awful. The 90s were a bad time for comic books.
Want to put it in the video?
I would love to. I'll throw it up there.
Captain America.
Looking bad.
This is America's butt.
Chest, butt. But Digimon, like, it was born from that era.
Mm-hmm.
The designer of it loved that shit. And so a lot of the Digimon, as they went from their cute little rookie forms to their champions or whatever else forms, just got edgier and edgier. It's really...
It's not a face.
It's not a face. It's so good. Oh, God, why do I like this?
Because you're a nerd.
That's true. So yeah, let's wrap this up. They fight the Aboromon for another little while, and also the Aboromon happen to hack into America's nuclear weapons facility and launch all of the nuclear weapons to kill everyone for some reason.
Because then everything will end. There'll be no internet. Because there won't be any airplanes.
That's why. But yeah, that's another part of the plot.
And there will only be the Ethernet.
The Ethernet?
The Ethernet.
The Ethernet. And so they fight the Aboromon. They use the weird spam issue that was happening to them earlier with all of the emails and forward it to him, and apparently it causes the same issue to him, despite the fact that it makes no sense because they're using the server to send them it's whatever. But they managed to slow him down because he was too fast and too powerful, and then they kill him with a sword to the face, and it stops the timer that was going to explode the nuclear weapons by 1 second, and then they land.
It's intense.
It's
I was on the edge of my seat.
so intense.
I was hovering just above the ground.
Just above the ground?
Yeah.
On the edge of your seat?
Yes.
So, somehow, all these nuclear weapons just happen to land in, safe cushions of water. Convenient. Useful. Safe. And the Aboromon's dead, but not before he says something ominous. And I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But he says something ominous and disappears. And then we cut.
Actually, that's what he says. Just something ominous.
But then we cut out after that little disappearing scene to a field in like Kansas or Wyoming, somewhere in the middle of nowhere, America. No offense, but like where no one lives except corn, and we see William running through an empty field with his Digimon. And then a weird gray specter-y wind just kind of floats around. And as he's running around with his little friends, he turns around and realizes one of them was taken. And it's the Aboromon's virus. Somehow made it to the living...
To America and to Kansas into his blood.
Yeah, and infected. The name of it, I don't even know. Maybe this one's the Aboromon. I don't remember. But it infects one of his guys. And then that's the whole point of number 3, is that new set of Digidestins try to stop this bad guy who's infected by the same thing that infected the Aboromon. Because they really needed to string a plot together.
Yeah, and they were like, well, people really liked the main character in the first 2, so he's a little too old now. Let's just find another character who's exactly him.
Well, yeah, that's fair. In the transition from season 1 to season 2, the main cast, they got into high school instead of junior high, and you can't have an anime with not junior high characters. That's blasphemy. Whoops.
You're a little too angry there.
Okay, in my defense, it's anime is fucking stupid. Ichigo from Bleach is in junior high.
Yeah?
He looks like a 30-year-old man.
Exactly.
Oh god. Anime and age is just ugh. Anyways, the new Digidestined, which are a bunch of characters whose names I forgot years ago because they're not as interesting as the first or third season.
I don't remember.
Yeah. The main character, the one who replaces Tai, is Davis. And I think I mentioned this to you, but in the actual series, at one point Davis, he idolizes Tai because they're the same person, and he wants to be a soccer hero like Tai is, and he even wears goggles like Tai because for some reason Tai wears fucking goggles like a weirdo. And Davis is...
protect your eyes when you're playing soccer. Didn't you know that? You could get kicked in the face.
Of course, baby, you're so right. And at some point, Davis gets a Digimon and blah blah blah, but his goggles get destroyed. And Tai hands him his own goggles and said, "The leader of the Digimon of the Digidestins needs goggles." He said those words in the anime. Those were said.
It's like a crown. Can't be king if you don't wear the crown. Can't be King Digimon if you don't have the crown, the goggles.
Okay, that's fair. But baby, someone got paid money to write those words.
Yeah.
Are you not offended?
No. It's a metaphor. It's deep.
It's so deep. Anyways,
I keep like crouching and slouching, and then the microphone is just in my face. And then I'll remember, oh man, I should probably sit up so people can see me. And then I do, and then my back hurts. So I don't want to do it.
Alright, well, let me wrap this up real quick, because I don't really like the third section of this, and it's not super relevant.
Also, this angle of me is a lot better than the last episode. When I was helping you edit, because let's be honest, I was awful at it. I noticed a few things. I noticed that one, the angle I was at, I have jowls.
You don't have jowls.
I have jowls. Go see that other episode. You'll see what I mean. 2, if I'm going to wear a striped shirt, don't sit sideways while the camera is on me. And 3, this is a much better way to do it. The thing with the table here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
I think it works a lot better. The stupid microphone's in my face, though.
I mean, we'll figure this out as we go along. This is, try number 2.
I'll move it away. And then every time I want to talk, I'll bring it back.
That's gonna sound awful.
Yes.
Every time you move it, it's just jangle, jangle, jangle signs.
Yes.
Well, that's pleasant for everyone listening. And, so, I mentioned before that this movie was put together from 3 different OVAs, which is just original video animation or something stupid like that. And it's basically just short anime movies, little episodes that are more cinematic. And the first 2 OVAs, they had been long made at this point when they were first starting to put together the movie. The executives were like, hey, we need a movie, blah, 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 Pokemon came out, blah, blah, blah. So they're like, we have these 2 OVAs, they're pretty well produced, blah, 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 we can just throw them together. But at this time, they already were on season 2 of the Digimon anime, and the executives are like, hey, so we have an entirely new set of characters. We would really love it if you threw these in before the end of the movie, because, like, they're what we're trying to promote now. And so these animators are like, okay. And they made an entirely new third chunk of a movie just because they're like, well, I guess we got to do this now.
Yeah. Also, this entire time you've been saying OVAs, I've been pretending I know what you mean, but what does OVA mean?
Again, I think it's just original video animation or something. I don't know. It's an anime thing. Like, you've seen it before, right? The Evangelion OVA or whatever, the blah 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 OVA. They're just weird special episodes that are more like little movies.
Okay.
That's all they, as far as I
I've
know.
never watched Evangelion. I've heard of it.
I
I've seen the pictures, maybe a few clips. Not interested though.
have only seen a couple episodes, and I'm not super interested. Partially because I've seen a clip from later on in which the main character masturbates over his comatose friend and yells, "I'm a disgusting person," and I'm like, all right, I don't think I'm gonna watch this one.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not the best.
My favorite anime is Tokyo Ghoul because I'm edgy.
Well, you're so edgy. So yeah, the new Digidestins are now getting their own little chunk of this movie, and they're going to America somehow for some reason, through a bunch of nonsense, like my uncle happens to own a plane that is really shitty. We're gonna land in the water, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna stow away on a semi, and we're gonna happen to meet the new main character, which was teased in the first part. William. They meet William. He's a teenager like them now. And that just all happenstance. And we're all gonna go to the same place together and fight the monster. And they do. That's the entire episode.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely tried to make this chunk a little more emotional with a little bit more of like, I don't know. It's weird to say that there's like character growth for William because like he exists only within this tiny chunk of time.
Yeah, like half hour of the movie.
Yeah, but like I don't know, he goes through a heck of a time trying to not like defeat this bad guy because this bad guy is like his friend or whatever. He's just trying to appease it and trying to figure out what he can do to make it feel better. And the whole time it's just been like, hey, thanks to this thing that I do love very dearly, I've isolated myself from everyone, but I still want it to be happy, so I'm gonna keep doing this thing. I'm not sure if that's a good message or not, but it's something.
Mm-hmm.
And they just meet him and they become friends, and it's very cute. William Digimon, God, I don't remember his name. Terriamon?
Who's?
Williams, the big-eared Digimon. I think it's Terriamon.
Maybe. I don't remember. He just looks very sad and very happy at the same time.
Yeah. And they're a cute duo, and they, have a pretty decent dynamic as far as characters in Digimon go, where it's very... the Digimon, despite their childish demeanor in their smaller forms, always seem to have a weird wealth of, like, insight into child psychology. I don't know. It's just a habit. It's like a theme for Digimon in general, where the kids are going through, especially in later seasons, genuine trauma, and the Digimon are like, here's some childhood glee, and then they feel better because sometimes you need to be a child, and these things are weirdly good at that for the characters. I don't know. It's there's more to Digimon than what this movie gets into, but oh well.
That's why you watch the series.
Mm-hmm. Season 3 got really dark. There was a kid who was legitimately trying to kill herself. It was weird. Anyways, they get to America. They meet William. They befriend him. They have little scuffles. Then they do confront the big villain, William's infected Digimon, and they face off with them and fight. And it's an okay animated fight. They beat him and cure his virus, and it do so by unleashing the golden digi-eggs of blah blah blah. It's a whole lot of nonsense. Like, if the last chunk of it was nonsense, this is nonsense squared. It's so much more nonsense. But they beat him and they cure his virus, and he's in his big evil monstrous bunny form. And then he gets cured and he becomes this cute bunny. I don't want to say cute because it looks ugly, but it's like intended to be cute. And that basically wraps up the end of the show, of the movie. They go their separate ways, and William's sad that his friend got
He lost
killed.
both of them.
Yeah, it was having a hard time. But the Digidestineds were like, hey, Digimon never really die.
No, they're in the Ethernet now.
And they're right, because
it's Ethernet. It's not EATHER. It's ETHER. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still Ethernet.
Why?
I don't know English. But anyways, after they beat him and move along, there's, that brief moment of, like, William trying to accept, like, I lost my friend, and that's my life, I guess. When his Digi-Egg happens to be floating down the river. Which is, again, weird. Because he had twins. In a single Digi-Egg. And then the other one comes... I'm just saying...
You don't know the genetics and biology of a Digimon.
I'm just saying... A doesn't match up with B, and it's bothering
Have you ever seen the Digimon give birth? Have you ever seen the internet give birth? Exactly. Gotcha.
Okay, so here's the thing. In Pokemon, when you get an egg from Pokemon, you just put 2 Pokemon in the daycare, and apparently they're so bad at paying attention at the Pokemon that they just fuck. And the daycare worker's like, oh, we just happened to let your Pokemon roam unattended, and then we came back and there was an egg here. They're really bad at their job. But in Digimon, they just appear.
Yeah.
They just manifest out of nowhere.
We don't know anything about the sexual habits of Digimon, and that is a crime. That is a crisis.
Baby, I hope to God there's no sexual habits. I know there are. I know the internet has some. I have, for many years of my life, avoided it like the plague.
I'm sure. Continuing on.
That's it. That's the entire plot of the movie, the framework for which this whole thing happened, and the reasons why 3 unconnected OVAs were strung together in a particularly nonsense plot.
All right.
So, I have to ask. Good parts, bad parts, the usual overview. But also, what about Digimon is the most appealing? And what about Digimon is the most... no thank you.
The best parts were probably the magical girl transformations or evolutions of the Digimon. And all the really cute Digimon. I wish they all would have just stayed in their first form. That would have been great.
What about if that had happened? Where would Garurumon wouldn't have been a thing? He looks so rad.
He could have been just as a baby.
Just a smaller version.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The worst part that we don't know the sexual habits and the natural.
Baby, I can show you the sexual habits according to the internet. I'll show it to you right now.
Well, maybe Digimon will be more appealing to me then. But
I like it.
But I don't know. I think what makes people like Digimon is that it's really wholesome, really playful. I don't know. It's fun. It reminds you of how fun it can be, like how much fun you can have as a kid. All of the wonder and like, ooh, maybe an egg will pop out of my computer. like anything can happen.
Yeah. There's magic and whimsy, and it happens to come from our phones.
And then the worst part is probably that they call it digivolving, and all their names are stupid.
So all of the branding.
Yes.
That's actually fair. I would have to agree with that.
And that it wasn't as popular.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I agree. I always have been a big fan of Digimon, the entire franchise. And while I do love this movie a whole lot, it's probably one of my favorite animated features when I was younger. The show itself I found was always more I don't know, impactful. There is genuinely a lot of emotional moments in the original and following series. There's a lot of really interesting things that happen with the characters and all sorts of development and all sorts of things. And while this movie didn't really have a whole lot of that, if you had been a kid watching Digimon for as long as I had at that point, which is only a couple years, it's not a whole lot of like seasons that of time that really passed, but it felt like a long time because I was a kid. Everything came out once a week because we had regular TV back then, and when it all came down to like, holy shit, they're coming out with their own movie, and the two coolest characters join forces and like use teamwork and love to become the biggest, strongest fucking monster to ever just walk around. That was really cool. It was really exciting. And looking back at it now as like an actual adult who understands like, I don't know, anything at all, I can see that it's really poorly written. It's goofy as shit. And that like the majority of this entire franchise even, it's just like, we need kids to want to buy these toys, so you have to make them like the characters. And despite knowing that, I still find myself really enjoying like the majority of it. Do I think it's a lot dumber than I did back when I was, whatever age? Yes. But I do find it to still have a certain, I don't know, charm and quality to it, where like as a grown-ass man, I'm like, haha, that was funny, like I'm not gonna actually bust out laughing usually, but it's quirky and it's fun, and I think it like holds up to the standard of really good cartoons of the current day. Like maybe not like Steven Universe level, but Adventure Time and other like high quality cartoons for kids. I think Digimon, the movie and the animated show, stacks up surprising well even now.
Yeah. It's got that nostalgic quality too, which I think is why you like it so much.
That's 100% true. But the funny thing is, it's still, some of the shows of it are still ongoing, and you still get a weird nostalgia from it, even if it's the new stuff, because all of the designs are still from the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Also, the animation was surprisingly good. Like for a 2001 anime, the animation was pretty spot on, which is surprising. I didn't expect that from Digimon.
Yeah, it was really good. Do you want to plug us?
Oh, I wanna. Never mind. Yes, let's go to the self-promotion corner real quick. Just a reminder, if you could help us, I could get a new chair and I wouldn't have gross pleather all over my arms by going to patreon.com/Delta Cryptid Productions. If you go to Patreon, there's a lot of options to give us a little bit of money and you get something in return. We're about to continue from now to, the next hour or so, record another chunk of thing for you guys that is exclusive to the Patreon, the Delta Cryptid Remix, in which we talk about things we just talked about and make it better. When we get to Digimon, it'll be a lot because there's plenty of things to make it better. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more freeform. It's a lot quicker too. It's only like 30-minute episodes or so usually. And I think you will really enjoy it if you like this show. You could also demand that we put out a message for you. Whatever you want to say to someone else, we'll say it for you.
Yeah. Or if you just want to say hi.
Yeah. For more money, you can request that we do an episode and we'll, get to it. You can request to be on an episode and we'll get you on.
We'd love to talk to you guys.
Hell yeah. It'd be incredibly fun. And if you just want to talk to us and not give us any money, I mean, that's fine, I guess. But you can also just go to Twitter, at Cryptid Delta. On Facebook is also at Cryptid Delta or just Delta Cryptid Productions. Either one, you can find a way to reach us. Instagram is Delta Cryptid Productions as well. And just find us on social media. Give us a hello. We'll respond to you without a doubt. We genuinely enjoy talking to people the few times that we've had the opportunity to. Also, if you find it in your beautiful hearts to go to iTunes and give us a rating and review, that helps more people find us more than pretty much anything else. So we would really love that. It would be an immense help. But that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. If you want some nostalgia and you remember Digimon from when you were a little kid, maybe watch the movie. It's not good, but you might find some childhood whimsy in it. All right. Thanks for watching.
We love you.
Bye.